Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Once again, we have a special bonus episode for you tonight, because some generous people out there decided that everyone needed an extra episode. So let's see what idea we have here today.
Hello, Dad's Bedtime Stories. My name is Annika, and I would like to suggest a story about Changer the Shapeshifting Dog makes three new friends. One's a black and white cat with black stripes named Tapsy, and a curly golden Doodle dog named Indy, and a bunny named Flip Flop. Thanks, I love your podcast.
Well, Annika, that is an excellent idea, and that's exactly what you're going to get today. So, get as comfy as you can in that bed, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the shape-shifting dog in the story does. Just for context, this particular story takes place while you, the listener, are actually on the summer camp planet, leaving Changer alone with Spaceship. Changer was bored. Not the kind of bored that can be fixed with a nap or a chew toy. He'd tried both of those things already, multiple times. The toy he'd been playing with, a miniature space moose, now sat beneath the pilot's chair, completely deflated. The nap he'd tried had lasted 23 minutes and 41 seconds, according to the ship's clock. It yielded no dreams and nothing worth writing home about. Changer lay sprawled across the couch in the main cabin of the ship, his tail curled around his paws, ears occasionally flicking at imaginary noises. The hum of the ship's system, which was normally soothing, today only made him feel very, very alone. The kid was gone, off adventuring, off exploring, off at the summer camp planet, no less, a place that by name alone promised marshmallows, zip lines, and shared jokes around campfires. Without Changer. Changer let out a dramatic sigh. His tail thumped once and then gave up. Spaceship, being Spaceship, noticed. Emotional distress detected, came the voice from the speakers in the ceiling. Heart rate variability suggests mild melancholy, hormonal balance skewing toward sulk. Changer gave a single quiet bark. Would you like to discuss your feelings? Spaceship asked. Changer barked again, twice this time, then padded to the nearest viewpoint and stared out into the blackness of space, his ears and tail drooping slightly. Spaceship interpreted the bark using its canine translation subroutines. I understand, he said. You miss the kid. You want friends, companionship, playtime. Changer tilted his head and gave a hopeful "Roof." Spaceship whirred softly as it searched the galactic registry of recreational destinations. Interesting. It appears the summer camp planet hosts a parallel facility for animal companions, designated Camp Positive. Changer's ears perked up. But, Spaceship added, it suggests that pets attend in larger groups. That was a bit of a problem, but Changer was not a dog to be stopped by such logistics. Changer barked again. "Understood," answered Spaceship. "Setting course for Earth. Let's find you some friends." The ship jumped to super hyperdrive, and before very long at all, it arrived in orbit around Earth once again. It dipped through the atmosphere, below the clouds, until it was hovering over Canada, over Ontario, Canada. In fact, roughly over Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. "Target zone located," Spaceship said. "Local fauna density high. Average household pet ratio 2.3. Commence friend acquisition." The ship hovered in the air, and the back hatch opened up. Spaceship stood before the open door, and he transformed. The transformation was effortless, like it often was. His fur shifted, bones realigned, ears lengthened into feathers, and moments later, a magnificent golden eagle stood where the dog had been. His eyes were sharp, his wings were glorious. He gave a satisfied screech, then leapt out of the back of the ship. The wind under his wings felt good. It always did. Changer banked left, coasting in a wide spiral above rooftops and tree-lined streets. Pools sparkled below. Barbecues sent up little wisps of smoke that smelled delicious. But Changer wasn't in it for the grilled meat. He was here for friendship. And that didn't take long either. Eventually, he came across a backyard. A backyard with a dog, a cat, and a bunny. The dog, a curly-haired golden doodle, was currently spinning in joyous, chaotic loops, chasing something invisible or imaginary around the yard. His entire being seemed made of enthusiasm. His name, Changer would soon learn, was Indy. The cat was perched on the deck railing. It was silver gray with dramatic streaks of black and white, and it looked like it had just stepped out of a shampoo commercial. Her name was Tapsy, and she, as usual, was not impressed. Then there was the bunny. Small, round, and fluffy. The rabbit was mid-hop across the lawn, occasionally flipping in the air in a way that suggested some sort of gymnastic talent. He flopped down near a sunbeam and, well, just kind of sprawled. His name, Changer would later learn, was Flip-Flop. Changer landed on the wooden fence with a dignified tap and gave a soft caw. Indy froze mid-bounce and barked once, tail thumping. Tapsy blinked. Flip-Flop perked up one ear, rolled onto his paws, and gave a single curious hop toward the fence. Changer shimmered again, feathers giving way to fur, wings folding into limbs. He leapt down into the yard as a scruffy, earthbound puppy, his tail wagging. He barked a friendly greeting, which Indy immediately returned with a full-body wiggle and an excited circle dance. Tapsy descended from her perch with, well, a bit of disdain. And Flip-Flop followed more casually, hopping in little zigzags, pausing every few feet to sniff the air. The four animals formed a loose triangle on the lawn: dog, cat, bunny, and shapeshifter. There was sniffing, a cautious paw tap. Then Changer did what Changer did best. He played. He started as a dog, bounding with Indy in loops and tumbles. They wrestled, rolled, sprinted laps around the garden, and, as dogs do, they smelled each other's bums. Tapsy gave a loud "Rawr" of disapproval, so Changer changed, this time into a fluffy silver tabby cat, near matching the other's elegant pattern. He curled up beside her on the deck, eyes half closed, tail flicking. Tapsy gave him a glance. It wasn't quite approval, but it wasn't dismissal either. Progress. Just as things were beginning to settle, a voice echoed from above. "Attention, mammals," Spaceship announced, floating down above the backyard. "Adventure opportunity detected. Camp positive, now accepting new arrivals." Changer's ears perked. He barked twice and gestured towards the ship. Though he didn't speak, the others knew what he was asking. Would they like to go on an adventure with him? Indy tilted his head and yipped. Flip-Flop gave a little hop in place, and Tapsy gave a long feline sigh, but none of them said no. Moments later, a wide beam of soft blue light shimmered into the yard. Changer woofed, Indy barked, Flip-Flop bounded, and Tapsy, with all the grace of royalty, stepped into the light. Up they went. Spaceship's interior adjusted automatically for new passengers. The lighting shifted. The floor was covered in a nice soft carpet, and the furniture was adjusted to the type of furniture the dogs and cats would like most. As soon as the animals appeared in the ship, they each moved towards one of the viewports, watching as the ship lift up out of the atmosphere, out into the blackness of space, before jumping to super hyperdrive. The stars turned to blurs, streaks in the sky, as the ship traveled at an unimaginable speed. Before long, it stopped, arriving in orbit above the summer camp planet. The wall of the ship opened up as well, and out of it stepped a dad, or more accurately, a dadbot, a humanoid robot designed to look like the most average father anyone could imagine. Cargo shorts, a polo t-shirt, and very sensible New Balance speakers. His face was kind of pre-programmed, and his clipboard was permanently at the ready. Spaceship's voice now came from his dadbot's mouth. "For the purposes of camp enrollment, I will assume terrestrial humanoid form. You may call me Dadbot." Indy barked once and wagged its tail. Flip-Flop did a slow backward hop, paused, and then bounced twice in approval. Tapsy just narrowed her eyes. Changer, who was used to Spaceship's strangeness, gave a bark of approval and walked over. Dadbot flipped a page on the clipboard. "Destination, Camp Positive. Arrival in T-minus 30 seconds. The ship descended through the atmosphere of a planet that shimmered with green meadows, glittering lakes, and forests. It came down for a landing in a large parking lot outside a central building, one that, looked like a main camp building. Dadbot led the four animals across the parking lot into the main building, and registered them all for pet camp. "Wonderful," the woman helping them said. "Please follow me. Your transportation to pet camp has arrived." She led them outside to the other side of the building where there was sort of a landing platform. A gigantic flying carpet floated down out of the air. Changer barked and leapt aboard. Indy jumped with him. Flip-Flop launched upward in 2 energetic hops and flopped mid-landing. Tapsy stepped on last, perfectly balanced and perfectly indifferent. At least that's what she wanted everyone to think. Dad-bod waved goodbye as the magic carpet glided gently over Camp Positive, weaving between fields and forests and playgrounds of absurdly wonderful designs. The whole place looked like someone had asked 1,000 pets to describe paradise and then hired a team of cheerful robots to build it. Tennis ball cannons fired in the distance. Cat towers reached into the sky like luxury high-rises. A squeaky duck waterfall tumbled down a hill. Indy barked at everything, literally everything. He wagged his tail so hard he nearly spun in place. Flip-Flop peered over the edge of the carpet, ears twitching with every new sight. He did a few cautious hops, stopped, sniffed the wind, and then did one completely unnecessary sideways bounce just for the thrill of it. Tapsy remained seated, legs folded neatly underneath her. She gave the whole place a slow, measured blink. It would do. Changer's tongue stuck out of his mouth. He could hardly wait. As the carpet touched down beside the welcome pavilion, a group of robot counselors floated forward. One carried a clipboard, another had a tray of bone-shaped cookies and carrot bites, a third was just gently wagging its antennae in welcome. The clipboard bot beeped, and without the need for Velcro, each pet received a sparkling camp badge that attached itself perfectly to fur or fluff. Even Flip-Flop's chest fluff seemed to approve. "Welcome to Camp Positive," chirped the lead robo-counselor, "where every tail wags and every nose boops." And with that, the group was off. The first zone of the camp was organized chaos. The toy pits looked like craters full of squeaky toys, ropes, plush animals, and chewable, strange-looking things from at least 4 different planets. Indy cannonballed in immediately, vanishing in a cloud of fluff. He emerged with a rubber donut in his mouth and pure joy in his eyes. Flip-Flop dove into a separate section, the burrow maze, a series of connected tunnels and soft dirt tracks with secret snack stashes tucked in every corner. His tail wiggled with each hidden carrot bite discovered. Occasionally, a puff of dust and a delighted thump would signal that he'd found something excellent. Tapsy, naturally, avoided the pits and made her way towards the cathedral, a glass-domed cat tower with sunbeams, elevated cat lounges, and a buffet of hovering laser dots shaped like fish. She claimed the highest perch, then proceeded to ignore everything below her with absolute finesse. Changer sampled it all. He transformed into a greyhound for speed and darted through the fetch fields, then into a kangaroo for bounce, and finally into a dolphin to explore the Poseidon pool, where he zipped through underwater hoops and played keep-away with robotic fish. He joined Flip Flop for a race through the burrow maze, though Changer cheated slightly by becoming a ferret and squeezing through shortcuts. Flip Flop didn't mind, though. He liked the challenge. Back near the buffet area, Indy found the treat bar. It was like a doggy dream. Fountains of peanut butter, rotating chicken spirals, whipped cream clouds, beef bone sprinkles, and yes, an actual soft serve station for dog-appropriate ice cream. Indy went through the line 3 times, then tried a 4th, but the robo-attendant gently escorted him to the hydration station for a cool-down. Flip-Flop, meanwhile, discovered the carrot smoothie bar, rows of bunny-friendly drinks, herbal infusions, and something called lettuce mist. He tried everything, and it was absolutely amazing, which one could tell by looking at his little excited nose twitches. Tapsy, of course, found the gourmet side. Individually plated tuna rounds, shrimp chips served on ice, and a floating robotic paw fan that kept her ears perfectly ventilated. But the real gem was the auto scratchers. These absolutely miraculous machines had a way of adjusting their shape and texture in real time, locating the exact spot that needed scratching, exactly when it needed scratching, and it never missed. Changer purred in the shape of a tabby cat. Indy collapsed beneath one and kicked reflexively like a wind-up toy. Tapsy settled beneath another version, which used heated pads and a sort of gentle vibration massage technique. She didn't comment, but she also didn't leave. Flip Flop wasn't so sure at first, until he found the auto flopper, a soft, padded, pressure-sensitive cuddle machine that knew just how to press against his side and, well, rock him gently. He flopped down immediately. As the day wore on, the friends migrated to the sunset shore, a peaceful beach where the sand always stayed just the right temperature. The water lapped against the edge with a calming rhythm. Changer lay with his paws stretched out before him, his tail twitching every now and then. Indy dug a shallow hole just for the fun of it, then lay in it and sighed. Flip-Flop rolled onto his side, flopped dramatically, and laid perfectly still, except for the occasional twitch of its foot, of course. Tapsy watched the sunset from atop a smooth boulder and pretended not to enjoy it. Everything was calm, until Changer's ears twitched. Something was coming. Something was wrong. He sniffed, he listened, and then he gathered help. Changer quickly made his way around the pet camp, gathering all of the dogs, cats, and other exotic animals, and alerting them to the issue that was currently descending towards the camp. A sleek silver ship broke on the horizon, descending fast. On the side, bold letters read, "Galactic Mail Service." Changer growled low in his throat. Mail. He didn't trust mail, nor did he trust the people who delivered it. So, the animals gathered, waiting on the outskirts of the landing pad as the silver ship settled down, hissing slightly as the landing gear extended. 2 humanoids in crisp uniforms stepped out, each carrying a heavy canvas bag. The world's mail delivery glared from their matching satchels like warning signs. Changer barked sharply, once, then twice, and the others responded. Immediately, every animal, every dog, every bird, every bunny, every cat, descended upon the ship. The mail workers hadn't even shut the ship's door when the ambush began. Changer led the charge, shifting mid-run into a stocky little bulldog for maximum momentum. He slammed into one of the workers with a shiny thud, while Indy launched himself into the air. Tapsy, along with a team of other cats, descended out of the trees, spreading out their arms and legs as they fell directly over top of the two mail carriers. The carriers, not sure what was happening, dropped the mail bags. They hit the ground and burst open, spewing letters, boxes, and a whole bunch of squeaky toys, which made the animals go even more wild, running in, fighting over the toys. The mail carriers began to retreat, leaving the mail where it was, and in a panic, pressing the button to open the door. The door to the ship opened up, the two of them snuck inside, and closed it as quickly as they could. Silence fell. Then, a chorus of barks, meows, and satisfied thumps echoed across the camp. The pets regrouped near the spilled bags. Changer sniffed the fallen mail and gave a final huff, confirming that, yes, the mission had been successful. Pet camp continued like this for a number of days, relaxing, playing with toys, and eating all they could eat, smoothies and food and treats, until eventually the spaceship descended from above. "Time to leave," Spaceship said. "We better get these animals back to their homes." The pets looked at each other and nodded in understanding. It had been a good time, but they were certainly ready to go home, back to their owners. The blue light descended from the ship once again and lifted the animals up into it. As the ship lifted up out of the atmosphere and out into space, the animals each found a comfortable place in the ship. The furniture had adjusted itself, leaving nice soft animal beds laying all across the living room floor. Each one took a bed of their own, and each one closed their eyes. And as the ship made its way back to Earth, the pets slept, fully relaxed from one of the best vacations any of them had ever had. Good night, everyone.